Hey everybody, welcome to Lamb Living. My name is Holly Lamb, and today I'm going to be adding some little Easter decor items to my dining room using dollar items from the Dollar General. So when I was in the Dollar General this spring, noticing all the cute things, and I was there last weekend, and my Dollar Generals still have lots of these items in their stores. I was noticing how many things actually were $1. Now those tablecloths there, they were $3, but look at all this for $1. Cheaper than the Dollar Tree. They have little signs and those little bunnies, the chalks, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to start off with these beads, and I'm going to make a chunky bead garland for my dining room hutch. And these have a flat side, and then of course there's flowers and eggs. So I'm going to take a glue stick and these Etsy prints from the paper Outpost, and I'm going to be putting these little pretty decoupage kind of Easter prints. I mean, you could do this for anything. If you had these little beads, you know, the flowers, you could do all kind of florals. I mean, just the selection on Etsy is just endless. There's just anything. You could search anything and you could get a digital download. You could go to the graphics fairy and get, you know, even without the premium membership, you could get just endless florals to make these little bead garlands. And I'm just using glue stick. And so I just, you know, dab, dab, dab. I'm trying to keep the glue stick off the sides, so when I come back later after it dries, which doesn't take very long at all because it's glue stick, I don't want to have to work with, you know, through a lot of glue on the sides. And I didn't even paint these. I kept the nice bright spring colors from the way they came. I just wanted to, you know, dress up the flat sides a little bit from just the simple designs that they came. But they were cute to begin with, but I just think these look so pretty. Now these are the nail files I use. I order them in bulk on Amazon because I use them, you know, every time I craft. It seems like I'm grabbing one of these nail files. Look how pretty that little floral looks on that egg. It just dresses it up so pretty. Now I did go back and use my little X-Acto knife on the flowers to get right down in those little crevices between the petals. So pretty. Now, after I got it all cleaned up, I went ahead and put a matte Mod Podge finish over everything. And honestly, I thought that was going to be it. But here lately, I've been really taken with the sheen of triple thick. So here we go. We're getting everything sealed. All that decoupage paper. Honestly, that wasn't decoupage paper. That was copy paper. And printed on my color printer. And so it looked good, you know, matte Mod Podge has a little bit of a sheen, but this triple thick, I've used it in the last couple videos. All my spring videos have some element of triple thick. So, you know, the matte finish was fine. I was showing you there. But I'm going to put, not on the sides, just on the florals and on the pictures. I'm going to use this triple thick, and I'm going to end up putting 2 coats on each one, and it just adds that little smooth, glossy finish that here lately I've just been loving. And so I'm just dabbing to keep it nice and make sure it gets completely covered. And I'm kind of showing you the left one has triple thick and the right one is just the matte Mod Podge finish. I'm trying to show you the sheen. And so there goes the triple thick on the one that had matte Mod Podge. All right, so I got this bead garland last year from Hobby Lobby. It's one of their Easter ones. And so I'm going to use not all the colors. I thought the yellow bead clashed with the little chunky bead, and I thought the green did as well. So I'm not going to use the yellow or green. I'll save them for another bead project. So I'm just going to use the darning needles. I picked those up. That was a Happy Hobby from Walmart. And these come in real handy. Now this little skein of yarn I've had forever, I think. And it just keeps on giving. So I'm just going to kind of make a semi-pattern. The bead garlands, I think the flower one had green. No, the flower one had yellow, but the egg one didn't have yellow, and the egg bead garland had green, and the flower one didn't. So I couldn't do an exact pattern, but I got close. And I did do a continuous pattern with the beads, the purple, pink, and blue, which I thought was kind of just a soft trio of colors to go between our chunky beads. So I'm going to tie that off on one end, and then I'm going to make a tassel. I'm just going to make a quick tassel here. There's some of that parchment paper from the Dollar Tree I like to use when I'm crafting. And I'm just going to wrap it, I don't count, 30, 40 times around the size of whatever I want to make my bead garland. I just pick something, end of a box. Sometimes I do it around my sanding sponge, just whatever I can find. I used to use a CD case, but we don't use CDs much anymore. All right, now I am going to use my darning needle, the big-eyed needle, and I'm going to just sew between the head and the knot that I had put in there, and to tie this on nice and secure. And then I'm going to run that extra string up into the bead garland, way up in it. All right, for the other side, I was at the Goodwill bins one day and found all kinds of little goodies down in the bottom. I found this little Mud Pie brand cross, a little wooden cross, and there were some glue sticks and that darling little bit of fabric. So for this cross, I'm going to use my awl, and that's the one I ordered from Amazon, and it's really great. It's even got a little cover for the tip, so I don't poke everything in my little basket over there. And I'm going to just poke a nice hole in the top, and then I'm going to take these little screw eyes that I bought at Walmart and just wind it down in there. And I'm going to take my yarn and wrap it completely around the silver. I don't want the silver to show, so I'm just going to completely, you can see it there. It's all wrapped around, and I use my awl to keep poking it through because it got really thick. But my awl just poked it right through there. That awl comes in really handy. And, it's nice to have over my basket, my little basket of tools to my right. So there I am running that string right up into the bead garland, way up in there. So it's never coming out. Yeah, and there it is. Oh, I just think this chunky bead garland's fun. All the different, I just kind of made random choices on my, papers and designs and textures and pretty things. All kinds, there's some bunnies there. But, you could do anything. Just grab these beads. I bought some extra ones of the flowers so I could make one for summer. And the cross there on the end is perfect. Since today is Good Friday, I'm releasing this on Good Friday for some last minute Easter. And there's Toby, always standing guard. He was actually watching my husband go up the stairs. All right, now these are those little Suncatchers that you see, in all crafting areas and kid areas. They're fun for kids. But I thought, why not? They're just $1. Why not use these kind of like I used the stickers in the last video? And I'm using, that's one of my penny items. I'm always so proud of using some of my penny stuff that I find at Dollar General when they clearance things out. And then the Peace on Earth sign I got at Michael's on 90% off, so I got it for $1. So that was kind of fun. Nice chunky sign for Michael's. And I'm just gonna glue these little Suncatchers with my Alene Stacky glue. I have this dispenser that I just love. It just sits right up there, and there's always glue in the tip. And I'm just gonna paint it nice and smooth. I don't want it to be too chunky so it comes out the sides, but I want it to be completely down. I don't want any cracks when I put on my Suncatchers on the side. I want there to be no cracks. So this Alene's tacky glue is going to do a great job with that. And there we go. We'll just let that dry for a little bit. There we go. I didn't even need to do any prepping of painting because I'm going to be covering it completely with a couple of coats of paint. There we go. And that was me just putting a little glue where the hanger hole was. So I was trying to fill that in. It doesn't fill in as well as I would like. If I went back and used these Suncatchers again, I would probably put a little bit of glue and then dab a little bit of clay in there to build it up. I'd rather have to sand it down from clay being too thick than try to have to build up glue because it just doesn't want to build up. All right, so I'm going to use yellow, kind of a mixture of the Waverly Maze with that New Moon from, what is it, Decor, that you can get at Michael's. Got that one on a sale one day. It's a very light, almost like just an off-white tan kind of yellow. And then I wanted it a little bit darker, so I added in the maze. And this is the Oops paint from Home Depot that I am still working through. You see I have tons of it. And it was only $2. And when I saw that color, that's my color right there. I just love this kind of aqua. It just is such a serene, beautiful blue. It makes me happy. There we go. So the bunny got a little bit of blue and the baby chick got a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to put 3 coats of paint on this because I want to make sure, see I'm dabbing it right into those edges. I want to make sure that there's plenty of, coverage. I don't want to see any cracks. I want to really get a nice coverage on those Suncatchers. We're going to bring back the design here in a minute, but to start with, I wanted it to be very well coated. So there, I'm showing you that. Everything's all incorporated with the paint. All right, so now I decide, well, first of all, I'm going to clean up the sides. I did not paint the sides, I just left them white, and I like how that looks. Leaving the sides white, just added a little extra something. But I want it to be nice and neat. So I'm just scraping that edge a little bit so that there's no paint dripping over the edge. Nice and clean. Looks pretty. Now I'm going to get out my winter adornment stamps that I bought last fall. And they have so many pretty florals on it that don't have anything to do with Christmas. Now some of them do have like a evergreen element to it, but most of them are just floral sprays and swags and sprigs and little things, big things, and it's just a wonderful stamp to have. And I plan to use it year round because it has some pretty swags on it. So you can see that one I'm putting on the yellow, it has over on the right, you can see on its backing paper, it has a beautiful big rose in it. So I get out my thin mounts, and I have a couple of these that I've cut in. I leave one large, and then I cut the other one into little chunks. And so I get my stamps exactly the way I want them, and then put the thin mount on them, flip it exactly where I want it, and I'm using the lines to make sure I know where it's going to go back onto the piece. And then this is potting soil. It's one of the archive inks. I believe I bought these at Michael's as well. And here I'm going to line it up. There's a red line right down the middle of this thin mount, and that's what I kind of use to make sure I get it in the right spot. Down there near the chick, I've got a couple of stamps, so I wanted it on either side of the chick. And I'm pushing. Notice I always keep one hand still, and I'm just push with the other, and it always does such a gorgeous job. Ooh, I love stamping. Love. Then I immediately always like to wipe away. This ink is permanent, so I like to wipe away with a baby wipe the ink. And so here I go again, flip. And I'm going to ink this up with the ink stamp from Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has those 4 colors, black, blue, red, and green. And I'm just using the black, and I'm making sure to dab. Now, I've seen some creators kind of swirl on their ink. I don't like to do that. I'm afraid it gets too chunky on the edges, and then it looks smudgy. So I like to dab and just kind of go over everything I'm going to be stamping, even if it's a large surface, and just dab, and make sure it's all on the top I want it on the top where where the design is. I don't want globs on the sides. So I don't go side to side when I ink up a stamp. I go, vertically down, 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 down. And there we go. Beautiful. And you always get a beautiful finish if you'll just commit, hold it with one hand, and push, push, push with the other hand. Now, to seal this up, because I'm going to be putting some transfers to complement the stamping, I want to take it outside and give it a quick spray with, it just needs one coat, with the Matte Clear by Rust-Oleum, and that will seal it up, because transfers like to go on a sealed surface. So if I would have left it just the raw paint, it might not have done as well. And so I wanted to seal that up real quick. And it had been raining, so I had put it on a big box out on my back porch, which is covered. But I was outside. All right. So these are the transfers, the new ones out at the Dollar Tree. Trying to keep all of my DIYs affordable. You can use any stamps. You don't have to necessarily use the IOD stamps. Actually, the Dollar Tree has lots of pretty floral stamps over in the sticker section. Just look over in the stickers. If you see some stamps, kind of flip through. They've got just a bunch of really nice stamps over there. They've had out. If they're not at one Dollar Tree, go to another one and try it. And it's been out for a while, actually, the new sets of stamps at the Dollar Tree. But these transfers are the new ones. And I actually ordered these from Dollar Tree online in bulk, because I knew that my Dollar Trees would not be getting them in right away. For some reason here in South Georgia, we get everything later than anything I watch on a walkthrough on YouTube. We have to wait. We have to be patient. They're testing our patience. All right, so I put on my transfer. I thought on the yellow one, that purple and kind of taupey color was really pretty with the yellow, and then the potting soil ink. And so I'm just going to use these. Those were from Walmart, those nail files. I don't like to use the black ones on this, these Dollar Tree transfers are great. I love them. But they're not as strong as the IOD ones, in my opinion. And so I like to use a real fine grit nail file. And so these from from Walmart are just a little finer. And so, I want them to look like they're a part of the design and incorporated, just like the stamps are into the paint. But I don't want it to be, to be scratched off with that strong nail file. All right, so of course, it wouldn't be one of my videos without a little bit of white wax. So the Annie Sloan white wax came out, and I put some gloves on because I don't like to get it all in my fingers. And so I'm just dabbing with a chip brush from the Dollar Tree, and then wiping back, and then I'm just going to buff that into the stamping and the transfers to seal up those transfers. The stamps are already sealed in. But this gives a nice matte finish. I love how the wax looks when it's dry. It just looks so pretty and finished. And so I'm gonna, really cake it up in those Suncatchers. It's catching that white wax really well. I was super pleased, even more than in my prior video where I painted over stickers and then white waxed, which worked great. These were even a little bit more raised. So putting the white wax in the relief was really easy, really easy. I even let the white wax sit on my cute little bunny and my cute little chick just a little bit. Loved it. All right, so this is all dry. And I love the stamping, love the transfers, but the little chick and bunny were not standing out enough for me. They were a little too, they needed something. So I decided to come back in and just lightly, you can see I haven't done the bunny yet, dab right on top. I mean, I'm coming vertically down because I don't want to get any on the sides of the Suncatcher. I want to get it right on top, dab. And I took the ink that I used on the stamps and I just dabbed it right on top, just a little, just to bring out the design. And that was it. I didn't seal that in, didn't need to. Here we go. So here's our beautiful blue with the white sides. Those pretty stamps from the winter adornment, added in with some transfers from the Dollar Tree. So pretty. Love how that one looked. And down here's the little hanger. I put a ribbon back it through the holes to hang it. A little knob there. And look at that cute little chick. He just looks like he's a part of it. And I love the purple and the taupe transfers on that one. I hope you can find those at the Dollar Tree. All right, we're back in the Dollar General looking at the $1 items. And the last two DIYs I'm going to do for you are quick and easy. I'm going to take two of those, not the trucks, but those little square signs, little chunky square signs. Oh, I love those little bunnies. I did pick up a few of those. But I'm going to be taking off the paper, which is an ordeal in and of itself. A lot of times I'll just take a paper towel or a wet rag and just lay on top. But I use my Mr. bottle here, which I'm going to be using on the decoupage in just a second. And I wet it, and then I'll work on another one, let the water sit. And then I'll come back with my little scraper, and that's one of those scrapers. It's like a Cricut scraper, but it's the ones from the Dollar Tree. These are great to have, you know, in my little basket by my right hand all the time. So I got them all cleaned off, and I let them dry for just a little while because I don't want them to be wet. And then I got these on the Graphics Fairy, and I put a link to it down below. Now, it is in the premium membership. I use my premium membership all the time because, you know, I pay for it, so I'm going to use it. And I love the Graphics Fairy. If you've never checked out their website, they have a bunch of stuff on the free side as well. And they're just beautiful items. So this is so quick and easy. I'm going to be Mod Podging these to the little, you know, chunky wood squares. They're little 4-inch squares. And I kind of tested. Did you see? I was just kind of turning it to see which way was going to look the best up and down. And then I'm going to use my Mr. bottle from Amazon. It's kind of like the Power Wash bottle. It's kind of a continuous mist. And I missed the back of my paper. This is just copy paper. I printed this on my LaserJet color printer. And then put it into the Mod Podge. And then I'm going to use my brayer to smooth it out. I'm going to let it dry. I have not cut these out specifically at all. They are hanging off. I'm going to come back in with my nail files after they're completely dry. Now this one, I decided to use the back of this little sign. This is one of the signs that I got while penny shopping at Dollar General. If you've never done any penny shopping, I love it's really fun. They do it like every quarter. They'll finally penny out some holiday items or some particular color, or the pink dots or the red dots or the green dots. And here lately, they've been going to a quarter first, then a dime, and then a penny. But I did get some of these for a penny, so pretty cool. All right, so there I go. Brayer, get it nice and smooth, and leave it to dry. There we go. Now we're coming back with my little nail files. These have a coarse grit. I believe it's 80 on one side and 100 on the other. So they're both pretty coarse, and they just zip that dried paper with the Mod Podge just right off there. It looks great. Of course, here comes the triple thick. I could have left it with that matte Mod Podge finish if I wanted to, but I'm just all about the gloss these days. So I'm going to put 2 coats of triple thick on both, or actually all 4, both kinds. The little 4-inch squares, and then this little guy that I trimmed down a little bit to get him. So he has his own natural little frame. I think on the back it says something like just whisk with it or something. I don't know, something about a whisk. But there, you see how I'm kind of painting off the sides. I don't want to get any of that triple thick on the sides. I'm going to leave them matte. I didn't even paint those. I just left them white and pink to go with the theme. It was fine. It didn't need it. Now, see this bead garland? I had painted this napkin on with gloss Mod Podge. So you can see that there's kind of a texture in the gloss Mod Podge. It took on the texture of the napkin, And it's not quite as a smooth gloss as the triple thick. I like them both. I have no problems with the gloss Mod Podge. It's just the triple thick makes it so smooth and gorgeous. Look at that little cutie sitting on that book stack. Now, you're kind of getting a glimpse of our last one. There are these little mini bunnies, it says, on the packaging. You get 8 in a pack, and there are 4 different, styles or stances. Some are laying down, some are standing up. All right. Now, I'm going to be transforming these and trying to make them look a little bit different. So these with the, that's Rub and Buff. I'm using, right now, that is the antique gold, which I love. I'm going to end up putting 2 coats of this wax, this Rub and Buff. I'm going to use that little brush, which eventually, after I finish this project, I'm going to throw away because I really am working this thing hard because it looks better when it's really smooth and buffed in there. So I'm using my paintbrush to do that. So I'm going to beat it up pretty good. So I would do half and half once that dried for a minute. It doesn't take Rub and Buff long to dry. And then I'll come back and I'll do their little heads. And doesn't that look like just a little golden brassy bunny? That is so satisfying. Look at that. Okay, now one set I'm going to make into like chocolate bunnies, and we're going to use the Gloss Apple Barrel Real Brown color. And I'm just putting it on here like chocolate syrup. I guess I was feeling the chocolate. And it's actually way too much. I make quite a mess out of this, but I get it all brushed off. This is a different brush. This is not the one I used with the wax. Rub and Buff is kind of like a wax, and so it has very different properties than this real brown acrylic. This is going to need at least 2 coats, and most of it I put 3. So it had a nice solid feel to it. Okay, triple thick's back. We're just going to take these white bunnies. I'm not going to paint them or anything. I'm just going to put this gorgeous gloss, and I wanted to see what it would do to these little, these little figurines. And what it does to them, it makes them look like little porcelain figurines instead of plastic. They're just made out of some kind of resin. And so I had to do this. I found with the triple thick that if I let it get on there, see how smooth that one on the right is as opposed to the non-treated one? I love it. If I let the triple thick get too thick, it would pool, and then I'd have to take scissors and trim it off. So I put thinner coats were better on and let it dry because it dried pretty quickly. Now those white bunnies in the middle are non-treated. They're just the resin, plastic bunnies, whatever it is. Up there in the corner or in the middle, I put the pure gold Rub and Buff. These along the right-hand side are the antique gold. Can't really tell much difference, but look at those. Look at the copper. That's the Spanish copper. Gorgeous. Okay, so now here's the triple thick. You can kind of see their little shine. I was trying to get close, but my camera wouldn't. You see how they kind of shimmery and they're kind of thicker than the ones there in the middle? I just love them. And the chocolate bunnies, yes. So here's one of my little porcelain ones. Cutie patootie. There with our little happy bunny. And I said these are the chocolate bunnies. These are the little gloss acrylic. I think I ended up, did I say, about 3 coats? Some of them I even think I dabbed a little bit more on. I wanted them to look like little chocolate bunnies. So there they are with my little houses. And along with our beautiful Chunky, I put a little porcelain bunny. I'm going to call them porcelain now. They're not porcelain. They are DIY'd. I love them. And there's a little chocolate bunny. Then we're going to go to my dining room table after we say hi to Toby. What a cutie patootie. All right, so here's the table. And so I just kind of scattered the bunnies around. There's some of the antique gold ones, and I put some of them together. And I think if I were to pick a favorite, it might be those copper, that Spanish copper. I'd never used that color of Rub and Buff before, but I am really a fan. Okay, so there's the triple thick ones. And then there's one of those copper bunnies sitting down, one of the lying down bunnies with the antique gold bunny. But I love how they all look. I really was happy how they all turned out. So sweet. My goodness. Okay, I wanted to leave you all with a scripture. This is from the New Testament in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. Praise be to the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. In His great mercy, He has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. I hope that you have a blessed Easter weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all the things. And from the blue house on the corner, we are so excited for Easter and celebrating King Jesus. God bless, and I'll see you next time.